Hello everyone, and welcome back. In today's story, we descend into one of the most haunting chapters in the lives of Deep and her little daughter Nhi. What starts as an ordinary afternoon becomes a nightmare, a chilling confrontation orchestrated by Fat, under orders from James's father, that plunges mother and child into a spiral of dread. Their world shatters, and everything they once believed in, love, safety, and home, is suddenly vulnerable. By the end of this episode, what Deep decides to do to protect Nhi may irrevocably change the bond she shares with James. So stay with me through every twist and shadow. This is not just a story of danger, it's a portrait of a mother's fierce determination. Let's begin. Late in the afternoon, the sun lowers toward the horizon, suffusing Deep's small home with a tired, golden glow. The air feels slower, the day already drifting away. Inside, Deep is stirring a pot on the stove, lost in thought, half paying attention to the fragrant steam rising, half worrying about what tomorrow might bring. On the floor, Nhi, her daughter, sits cross-legged, coloring. Crayons and paper are scattered around her, and in those quiet moments, the house seems peaceful. But then, a knock. Not polite, not soft. Sharp. Deliberate. Heavy. It echoes through the house, making the walls feel thinner, the air colder. Nhi lifts her head. Her eyes go wide, startled. She pauses, pencil in hand. "Mama? Who is that?" she whispers. Deep forces a smile, her heart already pounding. Her hand shakes as she sets down the pot. "Probably just a neighbor," she says softly, though her voice betrays her uncertainty. But in her guts, she knows, no neighbor knocks like that. When Deep opens the door, her worst fears materialize. Leaning against the doorway is Fat, tall, confident, half smoking a cigarette, exhaling a thin ribbon of smoke into the dying light. His presence fills the frame, heavy and dangerous. One hand is tucked in his pocket, the other dangles the cigarette. His eyes scan past her, into the home, as if he already owns what's inside. There's an unsettling calm in his gaze, and Deep stiffens on instinct. "What are you doing here?" she forces out. He smirks, stepping inside before she can close the door. "Relax," he says, tone deceptively casual. "I just came to talk." Deep's back presses against the wood of the door. She braces herself. Nhi, sensing tension, slides behind her mother and peeks out from behind her leg. The little girl grips her drawing tightly, fear making her small frame rigid. Fat glances around the living room, the worn sofa, the neatly folded blankets, the shelf of inexpensive crayons and battered schoolbooks. Something unreadable flickers in his eyes, but then vanishes. With a studied slowness, he takes a seat in a chair, as though invited. Nyi's voice trembles. NHI, place, Fat mutters, but there's no warmth in it, only mockery. Deep remains standing, though her legs feel unsteady. She demands, say what you came to say. He takes a long drag from his cigarette, the smoke curling through the room like a silent threat. He exhales, then leans forward. His voice goes low, darker than before. James's father paid me to warn you. Paid a lot. Deep's heart drops. It feels as though the floor has fallen out from under her. Warn me about what? She asks, her voice barely more than a whisper. Fat, unfazed, taps ash from his cigarette onto the floor. If you don't leave James, he says, and his words land like ice, you're not the only one who will get hurt. For a moment, Deep can't breathe. Her vision narrows. Her hand flies protectively to cover Nyi's head. Are you threatening us? She chokes. He tilts his head, cool and distant. I'm not threatening you. I'm telling you what's already been set in motion. Men were paid. Plans were made. His father doesn't want you around, and he doesn't care how far he has to go. Every word feels like a blow. The room spins. Deep's insides tremble. NHI buries her face into her mother's shirt. Deep strokes her back, but her own hands quiver. It's okay, baby, she whispers. Go to your room for a moment. NHI hesitates. Tiny footsteps echo across the wooden floor. Then she disappears into her bedroom and the door clicks shut, leaving Deep alone with Fat, fear raging inside her like a storm, anger sparking. You shouldn't have come here, she says, voice shaking. You shouldn't say things like that, especially when she can hear. Fat shrugs, a hard edge to his expression. Better she hears it now than suffers later. Deep's nails press into her palms. Get out, she says. He stands up slowly, dragging the chair back. The scrape of wood on floor echoes against her chest. Not until you understand, he says softly. Love doesn't put food on the table. When things get ugly, only money matters. Only power matters. Deep's chest tightens. She refuses to listen to his cynicism, but he continues, cold and relentless. James is too soft, too emotional. His father knows that. That's why he's doing this, because he thinks you're a weakness that needs to be removed. She coughs, fighting tears. Why are you doing this? You were supposed to be his friend. Fat's laughter is hollow. I am, he says. Which is why I came, instead of those hired men your enemies sent. I came to make you understand. If you stay with him, you and that little girl will be in danger. Deep stumbles back, her breath catching. In her mind, she sees Nye's small hands, her sleepy smile in the morning, the childish drawings taped to the walls, the family pictures with James dancing among them. Holding herself steady, she whispers, "I will not leave him. And I will not let anyone hurt my daughter." Fat's gaze hardens. He steps closer. The smoky bitterness of his breath brushes her face. He says, "Love is stupid. Whoever loves more loses. Right now, you're losing, you have nothing, he has everything." Stop pretending your feelings change anything. Deep recoils, wounded, but then light ignites inside her. Quiet but fierce. "You know nothing about what we have," she says softly. "One day, you'll understand." One day, someone will make you protect them the way I protect my child and James. For a moment, something flashes in Fat's eyes, regret? Hurt? A distant memory? But it vanishes just as quickly, swallowed by his usual hardness. "If I were a woman," he murmurs, strange and soft for a moment, "maybe I'd love James too." But this isn't a joke. This is my last warning. He pauses at the doorway, then delivers the final blow. "Be careful. Danger is closer than you think." Then he leaves, slamming the door behind him. The impact reverberates through the thin walls. Deep's knees nearly buckle. She stands frozen, chest heaving, as terror claws through her insides. Time stretches. She stands there for minutes, maybe more, listening to the residual echo of his departure. Her hands tremble. Her skin feels cold. Her mind races with dread. Finally, she moves, opening the bedroom door. NHI rushes into her arms, trembling. "Mama, I'm scared," the child whispers. Deep hugs her tightly, burying her face in Nye's hair, letting her small body press close. In that moment, something cracks inside Deep, a brittle shard of her strength giving way under fear. But even in her fear, she makes a vow: as long as she lives, no one will ever harm her child. Outside the window, the road lies dark, still. Fat's shadow has already vanished, but Deep sees it in her mind, looming, threatening. She whispers, "He won't stop. James's father, he'll do anything." The night closes in. Shadows cling in corners of the room. Every creak, every rustle holds menace. Even silence seems loud. NHI curls up on her bed, eyes red, her voice silent. Deep kneels beside her, brushing a strand of hair from her face. "Sweetheart, do you want some warm milk?" she asks, voice soft. NHI barely nods. Her tiny fingers are clasped tightly around the blanket, as though letting go might shatter something. Deep's heart twists. She's seen fear in children before, but this is different. This is not sadness, this is a deep, trembling terror of something she cannot name. She holds Nhi close, rocking slightly, as if she could soothe her just by her heartbeat. Slowly, exhaustion seeps into Deep's bones, not the tiredness from work, but a deeper weariness born of fear. When Nhi finally drifts into sleep, even then she sighs softly, haunted by nightmares. Deep stands and closes the door behind her softly, giving one last, lingering look at her child, fragile, small, innocent. Outside, the porch is cool under her feet. The air bites. She wraps her arms around her own body and looks up at the dark sky. It feels dangerous now. The world outside isn't just quiet, it's full of sharp shadows. He really won't stop, she whispers to the night. She returns inside. Her gaze drifts to the wall where Nyi's drawings are taped, family pictures, simple lines yet full of hope. The sight tightens her throat. How can she explain to her daughter that James, the father she adores, the man she calls Daddy, might be the reason danger is knocking? How can she choose between love and safety? Minutes pass like hours. The lamp flickers. Then her phone vibrates, a message from James. I'll be home in 2 days. I miss you both more than anything. Deep's chest fills with longing and guilt. She aches to tell him, about Fat, about threats, about Nyi's tears, but she holds back. She's afraid, if she tells him now, he'll come, confront his father. But that might make everything worse. She texts back, "We miss you too. Be safe." Then she turns off the screen, unable to carry the guilt she feels. Later, she lies beside Nhi again, wrapping her arms protectively around her daughter. Sleep drifts in slowly, fragile and thin, as though even one whisper could shatter it. Morning comes, but it brings no relief. Nhi wakes with dark circles under her eyes. She doesn't reach for breakfast. She doesn't play. She simply glances at the door, fear lingering as though it could re-enter at any moment. "Mama, are those men coming?" she whispers. Deep lifts her close, cradling her. "No, baby." "I'm here. Nothing's going to happen to you." Still, the uncertainty coils around Deep's chest, heavy as smoke. They step outside into the early sunlight, hoping the warmth will ease the fear. But a neighbor passing by, a motorcycle revving in the distance, a barking dog, each sound sends Nhi into a trembling panic. She hides behind Deep, trembling, her small body fragile as a sparrow caught in a storm. Deep draws her close, rocking her until the tremors subside into quiet sobs. In that moment, something pierces her heart. Fat was right about one thing. Their lives might not be safe here. Fear has rooted itself deep in Nyi's mind, her innocence shaken. Every second they remain, every heartbeat as they wait for James, feels like sitting beneath a blade. Deep wipes her tears and stands, cradling Nhi in her arms. She lays her daughter gently in bed, strokes her hair, and whispers, "I will protect you, no matter what." But words alone won't suffice. She needs to act. She moves to the window and peers into the quiet road. The world outside seems deceptively calm. Then she makes a decision. She packs a small bag, a few clothes for both of them, the rent envelope, some food, Nyi's toothbrush, her favorite sweater. She leaves behind the family drawing, the one that once filled her with hope, because looking at it now hurts too much. Her body trembles, every breath catching. Leaving means she won't be here for James when he returns. It means she's running without explaining why. It means risking everything she has left. She whispers to herself, "I'm not running from him. I'm running from a danger he doesn't even know exists." Turning to Nhi, she holds her hand. "Baby, we're going somewhere safe for a while, just the two of us." Nhi nods slowly, scared yet trusting. She squeezes her mother's hand in return, and together, they step outside into the rising morning light. The road ahead is uncertain. Quiet, heavy with both fear and hope. Deep walks steadily, trembling but determined. The little house behind them stands silent, as if mourning their departure. Somewhere far away, danger and hope coexist, both waiting. James, who has no idea what is about to happen, remains unaware. He doesn't know that the two people he loves most are slipping out of his life, taking refuge from a nightmare he never saw coming, one crafted by his own father. Deep looks down at Nhi, squeezes her hand gently, and whispers, "As long as we're together, you will never be alone." And with that, mother and daughter take their first, courageous step into the unknown.